So 3, 2, 1, go. Well, and welcome people back to a pretty unique DLC that I wanted to take care of after a certain point in the story. Well, I mean, it only becomes available at a certain point in the story, which actually explains the motives of the Fairy King, Fairy Lord, His Majesty, the asshole, whatever you're gonna call him.
Gandalf.
He really wanted to be Gandalf, as we've seen in that one scene.
They forgot the space between the Fairy Lord. That Boggle discovered something about the Fairy Lord.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while. Retrospective nanosites. So why won't you ask Kate?
Well, he's not a messenger.
He technically counts.
Well, he's not a messenger, he's a messenger's guardian. There's a difference.
Yeah, he's better. Find out his true motives, yes.
And I'll do it later.
First, I needed to make sure that what the options are here before I went on, because these get pretty difficult actually. Didn't have to replay any of them, thankfully, but they can be tricky. But yeah, the instructions are very not very good. What you're supposed to do is every single folk that isn't from the fairy realm you have to kill, and then there is a sort of a rotation depending on which folks are actually on the field. So for example here we only have folk from the Endless Corridor, and we also have Pukes. What we need to do is kill the ones from the Endless Corridor, and then they will turn into Pukes. That is not something I knew when I was doing this first part, so I think eventually I just speed it up after a certain point. Yes.
Yep.
Because this just is going nowhere. What I understood from him saying you need to defeat all of, you need to clear out all of the folks, I understood it as try to defeat all of them at one point, like in one moment. Which was, for a while there I was like, this is impossible, they couldn't possibly want me to do something like that. And so I just eventually just, well, consulted a walkthrough on it. Because, like you can see, this literally is getting nowhere. They constantly respawn.
This is why clear instructions are important.
Yeah, they are. And here I finally know what to do. And he's an invincibility Nazi. Something I would expect from an atheist.
Something you'd expect from Charlotte.
But yeah, as you can sometimes see, the moment I kill one of these guys, a puke appears somewhere around there. Sometimes yeah. Just take my word for it. That's how it works. It gets a little bit more tricky as the whole thing goes on. So this happens even before the events of the game. That's not a very nice thing to say. And we clear out the next one. Every time we clear out a level like that, we get one more memory. So yeah, this one works pretty much exactly the same as the last one, since we only have two folks from two different realms. We need to get rid of the answers because they don't belong in this world. And be careful to not kill the Gabalt.
Right.
Invincibility Nazis.
How dare their arms also count as shields while counting as swords?
It's less that. It's more that they just don't. They just avoid all damage because they do an attack. That's just dumb.
Right.
I only get to do that when I absorb a soul.
That's just not fair.
But yeah, that takes care of that. This is probably the simplest of all of them. It's so weird seeing Fairy Lord on the left side of the picture.
Isn't it?
Just so out of place.